The bride came from the church crying and went to the groom's house. She went inside, looking for the groom but didn't find him. So she took off her engagement ring, left it there and walked away, feeling very heartbroken. So how did things end up like this? Let's go back a bit. This is Tamara. She's from a very wealthy family, and today is her wedding day. She's about to marry a young man named Damola, who also comes from a very rich family. These are Tamara's friends. They've come to support their girl on her special day. They entered singing joyfully, praising Tamara, saying she is the most beautiful bride in all of Nigeria. Suddenly, Tamara noticed other dresses that her friends had bought to wear at the wedding, which are different from the matching outfits she had made for them. "What's this?" "These are the dresses we're going to wear. We can't wear that uniform outfit at the wedding because we also need to look good." Tamara didn't like it and began insulting them, saying they didn't have money and yet they are acting flashy. She told them they shouldn't look better than her because it's her wedding and they're not the main focus. She continued boasting that everything they were wearing was bought by her. Just then, her aunts came in, and due to Tamara's harsh words, her friends angrily left the room. The aunts sat Tamara down to give her final words of advice on how to live with her husband. Suddenly, one of the aunts started receiving a flood of messages. She checked her phone and saw news that Tamara's father was wanted by the police for fraud and embezzlement of company assets. She stayed quiet so Tamara wouldn't find out. Then, the second aunt also started getting notifications. She checked her phone and saw the same news. She was shocked and couldn't keep her composure. Without telling Tamara anything, the aunts whispered to each other and stepped outside to discuss the matter. Meanwhile, inside the room, the bride received a call from the groom saying the wedding was cancelled. Tamara came out crying and met her father. He told him what had happened. He said Damola's father completely refused to let his son marry the daughter of a man who stole from a company, and soon the police would come to seize everything they had. Tamara didn't want to understand her father at all. She went straight to the groom. She walked right in and shouted loudly, demanding that Damola come out. But nothing. There was no sign of him inside. She took off her engagement ring, left it there, and walked away, heartbroken. It turned out Damola was actually inside. He was just listening quietly as she yelled. His father had completely forbidden him from marrying Tamara. The thing is, Tamara's father used to work with Damola's father in a company. Along the way, Tamara's father started stealing, which led to his arrest. That night, Tamara had nowhere to sleep. So she called her friend, asking to stay at her place. "I've gone through a lot today. I'm coming over. Get some bath water ready for me and prepare some wine." When she arrived, her friend was shocked. "I thought you were joking. Weren't you supposed to be on your honeymoon in America with your husband by now?" "Forget that, fool. We've already broken up." But her friend refused to let Tamara sleep at her place. For all the years of their friendship, Tamara had always looked down on her. And today, Tamara had told her she had no money but was acting flashy, that she shouldn't look better than her, and that everything she wore was bought by her. That was too much. She couldn't tolerate it anymore. She turned and went back inside. Tamara asked angrily, "So you think I'll beg you? You've lost the chance to host someone like Tamara in your house." Tamara got in her car and started driving without knowing where she was going. Eventually, the car ran out of fuel and stopped. So Tamara slept in the car until morning. After some time, a man appeared. He was in charge of that area. The man began asking her for money for parking there. Tamara explained that her fuel ran out the night before, so she had to stop there. But the man insisted he wanted parking money. He didn't care about her fuel problem. They argued for several minutes. Then Tamara's phone rang. It was her aunt. She told Tamara to send her location immediately, and Tamara did so. If you're enjoying this recap, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. The man said, "You must pay 2,000 naira as a parking fee." All this shouting just because of 2,000 naira. Fine, I'll give you 50,000 naira. Now get out of my way. Huh? What did you say? I said I'll give you 50,000 naira. Immediately, the man started praising Tamara. He even called his boys to tell them he had hit the jackpot today. A short while later, their former maid, Auntie Mayowa, showed up. She had been sent by Tamara's father to come and take her so she could live with her during this tough time. That man came back again. "Madam, please give me my money, my 50,000 naira." 50,000 for what? For parking? You must be crazy. Auntie completely refused to give him any money. She almost punched him in the face. The man had no choice but to walk away. Then Auntie helped Tamara out of the car and took her inside. Tamara changed into some very low-class clothes. Auntie called a motorbike taxi. Tamara got on while crying. Auntie got on as well. They left the place. The journey was long, and they arrived very late at night in a very poor neighborhood. Tamara entered the house and was shocked. "What's that smell?" "Oh, that's from the dirty toilet water." "The toilet? No way, I can't stay here, not at all." She went outside and started calling her aunts on the phone. None of the calls went through. Nearby, some kids were playing. One of them snatched her phone. Tamara screamed, but people just stared at her. So she decided to follow the kids. As she got further, some thugs began following her. They caught up with her. Just then, a man appeared and talked to the thugs, and they left. The man's name was Tunde, and he is just a local carpenter. Meanwhile, Auntie had already spread the word around that anyone who saw Tamara should bring her back, so Tunde carried her to Auntie's place. Tamara shouted, "You're an idiot and a thief. I'll take you to the police." Auntie brought Tamara inside. Tamara was restless and wanted to leave, but Auntie calmed her down and insisted that she eat the food she had prepared for her. Tamara agreed. The next morning, Auntie told Tamara that she had already prepared bath water for her. Tamara said, "Don't forget to prepare me a glass of champagne too." Auntie just laughed. She led her to the bathroom. They passed other neighbors who had just finished bathing. Tamara was confused. "So where's the bathroom?" Auntie pointed it out. "That small thing. You expect me to bathe using that little bucket?" "Yes, that bucket has water." "So there's no jacuzzi?" Tamara was shocked. She wasn't used to this kind of life at all. Auntie was a local seamstress who also sold bread and other small items. Meanwhile, Tamara tried calling her father's lawyer to help recover their properties, as she couldn't handle life in the slums. While she was still complaining, the lawyer hung up on her. Now, in that neighborhood, there was a woman named Yemisi. She and Tunde, the man who had earlier saved Tamara from the thugs, used to be in a romantic relationship, but Yemisi had cheated on Tunde. She had tried very hard to apologize, but Tunde never forgave her. Yemisi still loved Tunde. She often watched him from the balcony, but Tunde completely ignores her. Back to Tamara. She was alone. She thought about how Damola had proposed to her. He really meant to marry her, but now everything had fallen apart. Later, Tunde brought back the kids who had stolen her phone. They returned it and even apologized, but Tamara still wanted to take them to the police. In the evening, Tamara was walking around the neighborhood. She ended up at Tunde's workshop. She liked the carvings he made. Tamara pulled up a chair and sat down. Then Yemisi showed up. "What are you doing at my boyfriend's shop?" They started arguing. Yemisi pulled Tamara out of the chair. Just then, Tunde showed up. He asked Tamara if she was okay while ignoring Yemisi. Yemisi stood there stunned. Tunde and Tamara began talking. Yemisi was clearly jealous. Then, by accident, Tunde knocked over a can of paint, and it spilled on Tamara's face. Yemisi laughed a lot. Tamara cleaned herself up, and later she and Tunde walked home together. They were starting to get used to each other. Slowly, Tamara also began adjusting to life in the slums. There was a dress Auntie had sewn for Tamara. She gave it to her as a gift. Tamara accepted it and asked, "Why did my father choose you to stay with me? And why do you care so much and do all this for me?" Auntie told her that she was actually her biological mother. It was hard for Tamara to accept this because she knew her mother had died a long time ago. Auntie couldn't continue the conversation. She stood up and left. She returned at night and Tamara was already asleep. Auntie sat beside her and started crying. Then we see a flashback of how everything happened. Years ago, while Auntie was working in Tamara's home, Tamara's father developed feelings for her. Eventually, they had a sex, and Auntie became pregnant. Later, Tamara's father's wife found out. It caused a huge argument in the house, but in the end, they agreed to keep it a secret. Even after the child was born, they decided Tamara must never know who her real mother was. So throughout Tamara's upbringing, Auntie was always around, silently watching her grow. When Tamara woke up the next day, she went to see Auntie again. She wanted more answers about what Auntie had said the previous night about being her real mother. She asked why such a big secret had been kept from her. Auntie explained that it was to protect the family's reputation, as they are famous. It would have been a huge scandal. In the end, both of them just cried. They hugged. Later that night, Tamara met up with Tunde. They took a walk and eventually ended up at Tunde's workshop. They talked a lot and had a great time. Tunde told her that he wished he could get investment from a company called Jolami Scott Investments. But we know that this company belongs to Tamara's father, but she didn't tell him a thing. The conversation moved on. By now, Tamara had fully adjusted to life in the slums. She spent most of her time with Tunde and her mother. Eventually, Tamara and Tunde fell in love. One day, while Tamara was at Tunde's workshop, someone covered her eyes from behind. When she opened them, surprise, it was Damola, her ex, the one who had once wanted to marry her earlier. He had come to take her back. But this happened at a time when Tamara was already content with her new life and already in love with Tunde. Just then, Tunde showed up. Tamara became nervous about explaining who Damola was. Damola didn't hesitate. He said, "I'm her fiancé, the son of a billionaire mogul." Tunde didn't argue. He simply stepped aside. Damola told Tamara, "Your father has been released from prison and he really wants to see you." Hearing that, Tamara had no choice. She agreed to leave with Damola so she could see her father. She told Tunde she'd call him. Tamara returned home, but she wasn't at peace. She spent a lot of time alone. One day, she asked her father why he never told her about her real mother. Her father said her question was too difficult, and he had no answer. The next day, Tamara and Damola went on a date, but she told him he wasn't the right man for her anymore and that she still loved Tunde. Then she stood up and left. Meanwhile, Yemisi came to invite Tunde to her wedding. She was getting married soon. Even though Yemisi still loved Tunde, she was going to marry someone else. After Yemisi left, Tunde started playing music to release stress. Shortly after, Tamara showed up. They sat together. Tamara told Tunde that she loved him. Tunde said he loved her too. But Tamara said she was afraid of Yemisi. Tunde replied, "Yemisi is getting married very soon, so you've got nothing to be afraid of." They stood up and started dancing to the music, even getting up on the table. Later, they shared a passionate kiss. And that's how our movie ends, titled Something Like Gold. I'm Avance, and this is Nollywood Recapped. Leave your comments below, and also subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we can meet in the next video. Bye bye.